So, I just watched Magic Mike XXL. It's kind of better than the first one, I guess. Okay, so at the very start of the movie, Mike has opened up his custom furniture business, which I kind of thought part of the point of the last movie was that he didn't have the money for that and the bank wouldn't give him a loan, and he spent most of his money that he had saved getting the kid out of trouble, but I guess we've just forgotten that now, because now we're moving on. We're moving on, it's fine, don't question it, don't question anything. And while one day he's working, he gets a call from Tarzan, saying Dallas has gone. And he tells him to come along to this wake they're having for Dallas. And so he goes there, turns up in his suit, arrives at the place and goes, I'm here for the wake, and there's no wake here. And he goes outside and there's a pool party, and naked Alcide throws him into the pool. And it turns out that Dallas hasn't died, him and the kid have just left to start a stripping show in China, so they'll never be mentioned ever again. So the group of strippers tell Mike that they are going to go off to the stripping convention and have themselves one last ride and just get it out of the system and just go for it and then finish up and they're done. And they want Mike to come along with them, but he's like, nah, no, I'm good, I've got my business, I'm good, I'm fine, I'm happy. And so he goes home, and while he's there, he's eating ice cream and feeling a little sad, but then he's doing some work, and this song comes on his Spotify, and it is very definitely Spotify because you hear the ad for Spotify in this movie. And the song comes on and he starts dancing around his workshop and weirdly humping his power tools. It seems unsafe. And he does that, and that to him is the impetus. He wants to get back into it. He wants to strip one last time. He wants to go out and do it. So he goes and he joins the guys. And they're driving across the country in this food truck, which I think is one of them wants to start a froyo business, frozen yogurts, and so he has the food truck from that, which Tarzan painted, because apparently Tarzan is an artist now. And while they're there on the phone, Mike is regularly texting about his business and stuff, and this annoys Alcide from True Blood, who picks up his throne and throws it out the window, which is like, that's really not cool. I mean, come on, I know the point is like, no, be here, be in this moment right now, but it's like, that's got all his business contacts on it. That's like, how are people meant to contact Mike now without his phone? What the hell, Alcide? Not okay. They go to a drag club called Mad Mary's, where they have an amateur drag competition, or an amateur queen competition they call it, where people just get up on stage and flamboyantly dance basically, and of course all the strippers get up on stage and dance. And randomly some of them have props out of nowhere, like Alcide has a feather boa and their one non-stripper friend who's going to be their MC has a feather boa and like a fruit hat. Where did he get a fruit hat? Where does anybody get a fruit hat? Where can I get a fruit hat? As it goes on, they kind of each slowly but surely reveal their different talents and dreams that they have, like there's the frozen yogurt guy, there's one of them wants to be an actor, Tarzan is an artist, Alcide from True Blood has an idea to put condoms and mints together, which apparently is already a thing, and that just upsets him greatly when he finds out that his idea has already been done. It's kind of funny. But I like that they've actually given each of the strippers more of a personality, even if it is only kind of one thing that is their thing. It's nice for them to actually be characters this time around, rather than just things who are people who are there. You know, like the first movie, you could have cut out those characters and you wouldn't have lost anything. This movie is actually about them, and that feels like what the first movie should have been about, probably. They're at this beach party after having won the amateur queen competition, and while there, Mike meets this random girl played by Amber Heard, and they kind of hit it off and are a bit friendly with each other, but then, you know, nothing else happens with it, and I forget, oh well, I guess that's the last we'll see of Amber Heard. The next day, they're talking about, you know, oh, did you get with this girl, did you get with that girl, and turns out Alcide's dick is too big. It is just too big, and that he needs to find the glass slipper, the one that will fit. Oh dear. Mike decides maybe we should do new material. because, are you still doing that fireman routine, Alcide? Have you ever wanted to be a fireman? Do you even like fire? No, you're afraid of fire. Why do you want to be a fireman in your act? What do you want to do with your act? And Alcide is very much against this idea. Like, no, we haven't got time to put together a new act. We've got to stick to what we know. We've got to do this right. But then is also like, well, maybe I could try this new idea. Maybe I could do this. Maybe I could do that. And then to get him to gain his confidence back in himself, he has to give this lady at a convenience store her smile. Because she looks like the grumpiest person in the world, and so he goes in there and he starts, sort of sexily dancing around. He like tears open a bag of Cheetos all over the place, pours a bottle of water over his head, and like rips off his shirt and is like kind of weirdly humping the floor. And then he's like, "How much for the Cheetos and the water?" And she smiles and laughs, and so he has his confidence back in himself. But my main thought, as someone who has worked in a customer service environment, is now this poor lady has to clean up the mess you made. You jerk, Alcide. They're doing new stuff, and so they throw out all their old stuff. So they're throwing out like the sailor uniform and the fireman's hat and all these things. They just throw them out, and it's like, that's littering. Someone could crash into those. Someone's going to get hurt. To cement them doing their new stuff, they do like sort of hands in, or everyone gripping hands, and they close their eyes, and so they crash the food truck because they get the guy driving to close his eyes. And then, so they've crashed the food truck, and their non-stripper friend is now in the hospital. He's going to be fine, but he can't MC their show, which is what he was going to do. So they need to find a new MC. So they go to this woman that Mike knows from his past life, played by Jada Pinkett Smith, who is an MC at a weird stripper house thing. I don't know. And we get an awkwardly long amount of time watching this strippers at her stripper house. I was like, I don't know who any of these people are. Why should I shouldn't I be watching the characters I know strip? I want to watch Magic Mike strip, not the... Wait. But she eventually agrees to give them a bit of help if Magic Mike will do a strip at her house. So naturally, he does. There's a lot of weird humping involved. The standard. So then they go to spend the night at the house of one of the girls that they met at the beach party after being at the drag club. And they go in there and immediately run into a house party full of older ladies, the main one of which is Andie MacDowell. And it's all kinds of awkward and weird, and one of the stripper guys ends up singing to one of them, and Andie MacDowell is really into Alcide. But also Mike's lady friend that he met at the beach earlier is there. Well, I never figured that she would turn back up in the movie. There's a lot of long, awkward talks about older people having sex, which is kind of a weird thing to sit through in the male stripper movie, but whatever. Mike's lady friend is sad because some guy tricked her or something. I wasn't paying much attention because I don't care. But I did learn that Mike likes Oreo cookies and not red velvet cake. That is what I learned in this movie. Alcide ended up sleeping with Andie MacDowell, and they say that she is the glass slipper. She is the one that he fits all the way. And apparently it was so good that she just gives him a car. Well, lends him it, but basically he fucks her and she gives him a car. Sorry, Mum. And so they've got to Myrtle Beach. They're figuring out their new acts. And this whole montage of them trying out new stuff, and that's pretty fun. It's light-hearted, it's energetic. It turns out when they get to the convention that they haven't called ahead to book a place to perform. They've just turned up there without... It's like, who arranged this trip? What idiot didn't call ahead? And they only get a place because Jada Pinkett Smith is there to help them. Okay. And so it becomes time for the big show. And they're there, and first of all they come out and they've just got... This is a bit they showed in the trailer where they've just got jeans on and no top, and they're all walking out and dancing. And it's playing a dance mix of Duel of the Fates. It's like, you think I wouldn't notice the Star Wars music in your male stripper movie? You think I wouldn't notice that? Come on. All the time when they're backstage before doing their act, you see all these strippers who are getting ready for theirs, and these guys dressed up as like Mexicans with like big sombreros on and like the kind of like the Paso Doble jackets, and there's a guy dressed as Neo, there's a bunch of firemen, Roman warriors. Just before they go out to do their act, there is a Twilight routine on stage, and that is good joke, movie. Good joke. I appreciate the good joke. Especially since the one who was annoyed about it is Alcide from True Blood. They go each into their individual acts, and so Tarzan's thing is that he is acting like a painter, and so he's got on kind of this puffy shirt. He's like leather shorts. And by the way, I don't think I ever mentioned it, but Tarzan is played by Kevin Nash, so that's a thing. And he's got like, this big cape on, and he's painting on this black thing on this big blackboard, and then like whips off the cape, rips off the shirt, throws a bucket of glitter onto the board, and it says "My Goddess" and has a painting of the lady that he's got about the thing. It's very silly. The Froyo guy, who I actually do know the character's name, but I will only ever refer to him as the Froyo guy. And his act mainly consists of pouring chocolate sauce on people and licking it off, and then squirting them with squirty cream. Which I was like, no, that's gross. I mean, yeah, I get it, it's, meant to be like, oh look, he's ejaculating, but it's really just cream. But, I mean, that's all over their clothes now. That's sticky. That's icky and gross. That's not what you want to go and get from a show. No one wants that. Why, Froyo guy? Why? And then the guy who wants to be an actor, his thing is, of course, that he's singing and he's all sensitive and getting up close to the ladies, and sometimes a little bit too close. Again, with the weird humping and rubbing face in people's crotches and things. And then we get Alcide's act, and his whole thing is that he's wearing like this tuxedo, and he's pretending like he's getting married to this girl, and then he puts her into a sex swing, rips off all his clothes, and weirdly humps her while she's on that, and that's like, again, it goes a bit far. And then we get to Mike's act, and this is the final act, and it's Mike and one of the guys from Jada Pinkett Smith's stripping house thing. And they get two girls up, and of course the one Mike gets up is Amber Heard. Gosh, I didn't think she'd be back in the movie a third time. And so they put them on these chairs, and they're doing this kind of routine where they're doing the same, like mirror each other. And the whole thing is, Mike doing it, is that he wants to give Amber Heard her smile back and wants to make her happy again. And what I did kind of like about their thing is that it's not a relationship. It's not meant to be a relationship. I mean, they could have set it up for that, because they established that the sister from the last movie left Mike, which, oh no, I was so invested in their relationship from the last movie. And so then that's basically the end of the movie. They've done this strip act, they have a bit of a party, and that's it, the movie's over. And I've got to say, it was much more fun than the first one. It's still not great, but each of the strippers has more character, the whole thing is much better looking at, there isn't that ugly yellow colour grading, and this one everything looks nice. There's energy to it, there's fun scenes, there's a sense of humour to the whole thing. Like, you could tell that they weren't trying to take this one as seriously as the last one, they were just going to have a bit of fun and just make a movie for a laugh, and that's what it feels like, and that is something more entertaining than what the first one turned out to be. And I'm kind of weird that I like what is, I suppose, technically is meant to be the lesser product better than the original, but there you go. I think Magic Mike XXL is better than Magic Mike. So yeah, that is my final thought on Magic Mike XXL. It's okay.